So the next topic will be like user management. In this pluggable database and container database in multi-tenant architecture, we have some type of user management. So till now we have studied about user management, like how to create a user and all that. User management. Okay, this is the first topic in this. So we have already known like how to create a user, what are the default user, right? What is the super user, how to lock a user, how to unlock a user, how to grant a table space to a user, how to allocate profiles to a user, isn't it? So these there can be multiple topics and subtopics inside this user management, which we have already gone through. We're not going much in detail. But in this type of user management, in multi-tenant part, we have few users like common user and local user. These are the two type of user you should be always aware if there is a multi-tenant architectures present in the organization. So common user is a database user similar to what the user creation we are performing, which performs an activity in all the container, including root container of the container database. Let me give you a practical example that would be very good. So let me log into the database. Enable SQL plus and system. Okay. So if someone will ask you like how many users are present in the database layer, what is the command you will use? So DSC DB underscore users. You'll trigger this, and from this you can use select username from DB underscore users. That line 200 pages 200 enter. So we got this type of things, right? Like these many users are there, including sys and system. Whatever user you will create, it is also present. So total 36 rows selected, 36 users are there. So on which database we are in, container or pluggable? Look, if you use this command show con underscore name, okay, that means connection name. If it is showing CDB $root, that means you are in CDB. Okay. What is the command to log into pluggable database? Alter session set container equal to pluggable database name, right? Now, if you use same command, show con name, what name will it will show? Look, it is showing enable PDB. That means you are in pluggable database location. Pluggable database not only always in the mount state. You have to start in the read write mode. Then only you can work on it. So if you are seeing that show PDBs, you will be listing all the PDBs. If you use this command show con name, that means it will show CDB root. If it is showing CDB $root, that means you are in a container database. If it is showing the pluggable database name, you are in the PDBs. So just now we have already discussed like how many users are present in this pluggable database and container database in multi-tenant architecture. Number one is common user, okay, and number two is local user. So what is the benefits and where this local user exists, where this common user exists, how to identify, how to create it, how to lock it, how to drop it, that we are going to understand. Since in the standalone server, we have used this command like db underscore users to identify the list of users. It shows the 36 rows selected. That was the total number of users present in the database. So what do you mean by common user then? What is the local user? Okay. Always remember, if you have multi-tenant architecture, on that scenario, these two user will present in your database layer. Common user. Coming to common user, this common user will be created at the CDB layer. Always remember. Always remember the common user, because it is common to CDB as well as PDB. That is why whenever someone will ask you to create a common user, you should be very much confident that where to create. Should not create in pluggable database. You should create in container database. Okay. Now you'll be seeing like how to identify how many common users are there in the database, how many common users are there in the database, how to create. So these are the questions that comes to your mind as of now. Okay. So that we will understand how to identify how many users are there and how to create it. So there is a parameter. Okay. Before going forward, currently we are in which database? Pluggable or container? pluggable. Now I want to go back to container. How I will be going to that database? Alteration set container equal to cdb dollar root. If you use this command, and you will see the connection name on name. Look, you are in cdb root. So show pdbs. Look, we are in the container database now, isn't it? From here, we have a parameter. Show parameter common. Here you can see a parameter name as common user prefix, and the prefix name is c hash hash. Now, what does this mean? That whenever you are going to create a user, or if there is any user related to she hash hash, that means that user will be considered as a common user. If you'll see any users with the prefix c hash hash, that user will be termed as a common user. Now you'll be asking like how to identify. Is there any way to check common user? So we have only one view like db underscore users, and in this view we are not able to identify like there is no c hash hash user present here is as a prefix. That means there is no common user at a database layer. This is the thing, right? We don't have any users because there is no c hash hash prefix present in front of the username. But if you want to create a common user, if someone is asking you or someone is requesting you to create a common user, someone from application team, from users, from client, okay, so what will be your command to create it? Okay, leave it to the command for creating. First, I want to validate like, okay, c hash is present in front of a user. That means a user is present in the database server. So how to check how many users are there known as common user? So there is a command, there is a view called, what is the name? CDB underscore users. CDB underscore users. You can make it as a note. CDB underscore users. Under this, you will be finding a number of columns. We'll select few of it. Select. Let me select the con ID. Apart from that, let me connect. Select username. Apart from that, common, because I want to see the common users which has been created, and Oracle maintained, and what else? From the db underscore users. Okay. So this is a command I am going to use it. So you can see here is when we have used this cdb underscore users command, you can see we are having multiple users at a cdb layer. Earlier it was 36 rows selected, isn't it? But as of now, you can see that is 73 rows selected. Why it is so? Whenever you are using db underscore users, it is listing that 36 users is present at a database layer. But whenever we are using this view cdb underscore users, it is listing all the users present in the database layer, which is 73. How it can be possible? This is my question. Whenever we are using db underscore users, we are saying only 36 users were there. But as of now, 76 users are there. Why? You can see this con ID. Okay. What it is showing? 1111, right?
Yes.
But at last, it is showing 3.
Three
Isn't
users.
it? So if you use show PDBs to check the list of the PDBs and containers, look, what is the con ID here is?
2 and 3.
3 means pluggable
PDB.
database, right? PDB. So the connection name with PDB 3 is showing that these are the users which is present in the PDBs. Look. Okay. And 1 means CDB. So these are the users which is present in the CDB. So look, connection ID 1, sys is there, right? Connection number 3, sys is there. So why it is showing 2 sys? 1 is for PDB and 1 is for CDB. Now we have to see that common user is present or not. There is no C hash as a prefix, so there is no common user. Okay. Now I want to create it. Create a common user. How to do so? What will the command? Create username. For creating a common user, what prefix you have to use? C hash. Suppose I will use the name Dilruba. Okay. Identified by account will be locked, so I will unlock it. Okay. Look, user has been created. Now I want to check whether this user, common user, is present in the server or not. Is there any user called C hash hash? It is created in PDB, but I have said that it should be created in CDB. Look, I have created in CDB. It has created in CDB, but it is also reflecting, also created in the PDB as well. So let me reframe the query once again. Where username like look what it is showing here is the connection ID is PDB, CDB, and PDB. So the user has been created with C hash Dilruba. Whether this is a common user or not, you can see this is a common user. It is showing yes and yes. So with this command, you can identify that whether the common users are created or not, and where it is created in PDB or it is created on CDB. So this is what we have written here is a common user is a database user which is created in the root container database, that is the CDB. A common user can only be created in the root container. You can't create it in the PDB. Okay. Common user name will start with C hashes prefix. While creating a common user, we can't mention container equal to current or container equal to all. I will come to that part also. It is not recommended to create objects under common user. You can't create a table, you can't create a view, indexes inside this common users. Okay. Common users are generally used for login purpose. Once we create a common user, it will automatically get replicated to all PDBs. Since we have only one PDB, if there can be multiple PDBs, in all the PDBs, this common user will be reflected, created. Okay. So privilege for the common user will vary from CDB and PDB. How to identify? Show parameter common. If you use this, you can identify the parameters is present or not. If yes, you can check the CDB table space info also with this command. Okay. This is a good command. Suppose we used to manage table space, right? Table space monitoring we used to perform. If it is reaching beyond the 80% to 90%, you have to work on it. So this is the command. If you run this command, you will be getting this type of output. This will make you differentiate between both the databases like pluggable and container. So this is the information for container database. Look, CSOX table space is present, system present, temp present, undo present, users present. Okay. Connection ID is 1 and CDB 2. Below 1 is PDB. So PDB is also having a CSOX table space, system table space, temp, undo, and users. So what you can conclude from this command is we have individual table spaces in both container and pluggable database. So for creating a user, you have to be in container database, and we have the command like create user with C hash prefix, identified password, account unlock. Okay. How you can check this command with the help of this view already mentioned here. Okay. With the help of this, you can identify whether the common user are created or not. The thing is, when you will create in the container database, it will replicate it to all PDBs. That is the one thing. Use of creating a common user is, suppose there is a client, okay, and they want to log into a PDB. Okay. So what we can do is first they have to log into CDB, then only they can proceed with PDB. Until and unless, suppose if you want to go to bedroom, okay, you have to open your main door first. Without opening your main door, you can't jump it into the bedroom, right? Similarly, we have a container database. Once this container database will be opened, then only you will be logged into the PDB, pluggable one. Getting my point? So the purpose of is container common user is like with the help of the common user, you can log into CDB as well as a PDB. If you're creating a normal user, you won't be able to log into this pluggable database. First of all, you have to go to the CDB, then you can proceed with the pluggable database. Coming to the local user part. So local user, similarly, what we have done here is common user is created in container database. Local user will be created in the pluggable database. So you can say like we have created a common user in CDB, but it has replicated to all the PDBs as well. So your question can be this, like we have created a local user in PDB. Can we create in the CDB as well? Or it can be replicated? You can say yes. You can create this local user in CDB as well. But most of the times, it's Oracle recommended that you can create a local user under PDB. We have the commands here, like local users are the normal users which can be created in the PDBs. With the appropriate privileges, a local user can access objects in the common user schema. The command will be the same, like create user and the normal username, what we used to perform earlier. Okay, like ABC, XYZ. Okay, and account unlock. So this is a command you can use here. And how to check? We have the view called CDB_users. With that view, you can identify like whether this user has been created. We can try it first. So first of all, we have to log into the PDB. Let me see where we are. We are in container database, right? Alter PDB name, show con name, enable PDB. We are good now, right? Now let me trigger this command. The user's name. Okay. Select. Okay. So when you are using this command, it is showing that one user is created called Dilruba, and this is a common user. CUMM is showing as yes. Now again, I want to create a local user which will be created in the PDB. So let me create it. Create user Dilruba identified by Oracle account unlocked. Okay. I will rerun this query again. What it is showing here is it is showing that user has been created and this is not a common user. So what type of user this is representing here is this is a type of local user, and it is directly showing like common is no, that means it is not a common user. The prefix with C hashes is a common user, and in case of column you can see it is represented as yes, that means this is a common user. This is a basic difference between local and common user. Where to create, how to create, what is the keywords, it is very much understandable now. Okay, so there is a term, we have one term called container equal to all. Okay, and second one is container equal to current. What does this mean and where to use this command? So the first thing is container equal to all. Suppose whenever you are going to create a user or in container database, okay, whenever you are going to create a user in container database and you want it to be replicated to all PDBs, PDB1, PDB2, PDB3, you are creating a XYZ user and you want this user to be replicated in all the databases, all the pluggable database, you should use the command called container equal to all. And suppose if you are in the PDB and you are allowed to create a user called ABC, okay, there can be multiple pluggable databases like PDB1 is there, PDB2 is there, PDB3 is there, okay, and you have been asked like you have to create a user in this specific PDB, not in all PDBs, only one PDB. So to create a user in specific PDBs, you have to use container equal to current one. Okay, so suppose we are in this location, PDB location, and I want to create a user called ABC and identified by this. And I will use this command container equal to current. Once I will use this command, user will be created, but this ABC user will be dedicated to the specific PDB from where you have created it. That means there's one PDB, enable PDB. So in this PDB only, you will be having this user, not in all PDBs. Now, equal plus access DBA. We are in container database now. So on name. Now let's say we want to create a user called ABCC, and I will use this command container equal to all. What it is showing? Container database, what it is showing? Invalid common user or role name. I will use this. Okay. Why it is showing this error? Like creation of local users or role is not allowed in this container. Just now I have mentioned in this Microsoft Paint, like this container equal to current is always be used in case of PDBs. Like if you want to create a user in a specific PDBs, that is why. And if you are using container equal to all, that means you want to replicate that user in all the PDBs. So since we are in CDB, we have to use container equal to all command, but we are getting this type of error. What can be done? This is a very straightforward and simple error. Let me create the user without that container equal to all. Still we are getting that error. Why it is so? Let me use this name as XYZ. Okay. Identified by password, container equal to all. Let's see. Again, it is showing error. Show PDBs. Alter session set container equal to enable PDB. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me use this command in Pluggable Database. Common details only allowed in root. That means container equal to all will be allowed on CDB only. So what can be applied here is container equal to current. So we are good with creating this user in PDB with this container equal to current, but we are not able to use this command container equal to all. Why it is so? CDB will be created with the common user. Let me do that. Container equal to all I will use here, and this will be created. If we'll use C hash hash ABC D and container equal to all, it will be created. So why we were getting this type of error is common DDLs are only allowed in roots and all that errors like invalid common users or role name. That means it's showing that you are not authorized to create a common user without prefix. You have to mention prefix in CDB. That is why it is showing this type of error. Understand? Always remember CDB should in CDB user should be created with a common username with a C hashes in prefix, and you can use container equal to all parameter in container database, not in pluggable database. To apply anything in container equal to current, you should be in pluggable database. This is the basic difference.